Yeah, so here we go again. I am at the car, just been shopping. Reason I am not in the regular spot, that is the middle passenger seat, is I got a fuel up. I've done 55k on reserve, so I figured while I wait for the jug to empty, I may as well talk with myself and use the time double effectively. There we go. Got my proper jerry can. I recommend the very German original design, World War II design. Got my rag so I don't pollute my nozzle. Haha. Highly recommend a video, a documentary, essay, whatever you may want to call it, by Callum on YouTube on jerry cans in particular. They have a very good one. They may be to blame that I have some of these, I guess. Yeah. So I've been shopping today, and I've actually shopped more than I anticipated. Then again, it's been a while since I've been. There we go. There we go. Haha. I actually spent triple digits, though the very bottom end of triple digits. Got myself 2 crates of drinks, 13 litres of milk, a lot of goodies, some frozen stuff and some conservable stuff, jam and so on. And jam and so on is not cheap, particularly if you get the fancy Old English marmalade. Also got myself some peanut jelly, I guess what one might want to call it, homogenized peanuts in the end of the day. 100% peanuts, so I can make some peanut sauce sometime. I've managed to be for my walk today, though today was only four kilometers. Yesterday I actually done like almost 7. Been doing walks on a daily basis. Today's earlier than usual though, because I did have to go shopping. Throughout this week I've walked around the entire Central Park of Berlin, Tierpark. Today I haven't been very productive in the ways of my current occupation of being a student. Currently I have to work my thesis film and my thesis presentation. Thesis defension presentation, there we go. Brain, language is hard, you know. It's due Monday at 1400, so I got about a day and 18 hours. Not optimal, to be fair. Sorry for the long thinking break. I did kind of have to make sure I got my numbers right. Day today is Saturday. The time is 18 past 8 in the PM. And I'm sweaty AF because it's bloody warm. I'll be able to tell you the temperature once we're back inside the car. I have some news as to my occupation once I'll be done studying. My former place of internship is at this time not in the position to offer me a position, which means that I'll have to apply places. Then again, in the mid to long term, it's probably for the best because other places will be looking to pay more than my former place of internship would have. It's just, you know, would have been worth it for me in the mid to short term because save on the horrendous process that is application for jobs. I shouldn't be worried about it as much at this time as I am because I got other things to do before Tuesday. After Tuesday, that's my main focus. Got a couple of places that are looking for someone. One of them have an alumni of mine, so odds are I'll end up in a decent position. Driven to one of the places earlier today just to actually figure out getting there, how my commute would be. It's actually acceptable. I mean, there's some horrendous roadworks, but I'm looking for this job for mid to long term, years if not more than a decade, that is. So hope that person don't mind being in the background, because now they are. Oof, I'm not going to cut or blur them. Please don't sue me, thank you very much. I'm looking for at least a few years, if not more than a decade of occupation at whichever place end up hiring me, which means the commute is going to be affected, but I frankly don't mind roadworks because roadworks was only years. If any of the current roadworks are still a thing in a decade's time, I'd be fairly concerned. Then again, I would also not be surprised. There we go, that's the best part of 20 litres of diesel tanked into the car. There is one little stain on the floor. One drop got past me. Then again, one drop is less than many cars leak when they're stood for a day, so I can parallel my ethics with that and not have a problem. There we go. Take you out of here. You're actually on this handy little tripod. You'll not be in a moment, so I'll be able to show you then. Currently diesel is actually not that expensive. There we go. And we are back in the regular spot, and this is the handy little tripod I meant. There's a cheapo phone mount off of Amazon, off of Jeff, and this tripod my dad might have bought over eBay. It's forever old though, and it's fucking amazing. It's a Billerette 2037S. It's very portable, as these are telescoping legs. The only thing is it's not very sturdy, but for phone it's sturdy enough, you know. Yeah, so I spent more than I'm comfortable spending on a regular basis shopping, but I'm not too fussed about it. I'll manage. Oddly enough, one of the two potential places that are looking to hire have a job listing open, and they're happy if someone is just a graduate of a degree in the field, which I will be by the time I get a job, or have experience. So I tick two of those boxes, which means I am an attractive employee for them, though they have no record of mine. Oh yeah, I was going to tell you the temperature. The sky is fairly blue. Temperature is 25 degrees centigrade at nearing 8:30 in the PM. It's kind of horrendous, you know. Today's drink of choice is Uldak Gazoz, which is a typical kebab shop drink, but Ornazuka, which means no sugar. So it's a sugar-free version of a very sweet drink, and I'm wondering how that's going to be, you know. It's okay. Certainly drinkable. I reckon either tonight or tomorrow night I will pull an all-nighter, just because I work better at night. And I'll try to go for walks during the daytime, but with my current circadian rhythm, I only have 10 or so hours of daylight. Just because I manage to get out of bed around noonish, because I only go to bed late. Oh no, you know. With a thesis film, I am split on whether I should do some sound design, because in the end of the day, I'm not studying sound design. But the film by itself is a bit as any film would be. Sound is 51% of film, you know. But for my thesis, for the written part, I have excluded all audio because it's just music. Just you know. So I may actually want to spend a couple of hours and just whip up a quick sound for that. Just because it's going to make way more presentable. There we go. With the structure for the defense presentation, I have a vague idea of how I'll do it. First off, scope. How did I work? What did I achieve? What did I not achieve? What did I learn from this? What would I do differently in future? And I'll apply this to all bits: the writing, the shoot, the thesis film as a whole. Just because, you know. they aren't giving us a structure, so we have to come up with our own structure. And in fact, we are not allowed to take a given structure from anyone, because that would be intellectual property theft, at least according to the declaration of having written it ourselves. So I'm going to have to come up with my own, and that is my own. It's a fairly simple one, but I'll manage to get a lot of slides in. Took pictures during my shoot. I got some midways for my CG. I got a couple of pictures of me writing. Just a whole bunch of pictures in the presentation, because in the end of the day, the presentation, is worth nearly as much as the written part of the thesis. But the slides are not what is scored. What is scored is your actual presentation, and I'm surprisingly good at waffling on. Almost as if I did it with myself on a regular basis. Thank you very much for listening to me waffle on, and watch me waffle on, I guess. Yeah, but that's the bit I'm not worried about with presentation, because, got an hour. The more time I kill myself, the less time they'll have to interrogate me. So I'm aiming for at least half an hour. And with half an hour of interrogation, I'll have no problems, because first off, the language is English. The language this is to be conducted in, to my understanding, because my thesis is written in English, and I'm graduating in English. In the English language, that is, not in the field of English. And it is, for me, as if it were German. They're both mother tongues of mine, I guess. Though if you want to take that literally and not in the figurative way it is commonly used, English is my father tongue. And even then, I got reasonable explanations for most everything. The only one I really don't like, but it's true, so they'll have to accept it, is, well, there weren't time for that. That was beyond the scope of a bachelor's thesis for this, because I already spent minimum 500% of the time we're supposed to on writing the written bit. I'll have spent more time on the film than one reasonably can, just because I started early. I did a whole shooting day. In the end of the day, I will have mostly from that used a lot of noise and a very low contrast image, which I'll have interpreted, which makes it all even more so art, I like the colour schemes I got at this time. I may just have to cut a bit shorter, and I am considering replacing all frames with interpolated ones by Topaz Labs Video Enhance. So slow it down by a factor of 2, which I've already done. I've slowed it down by more than 2. And the interpolated frames, so you start out with your 25 frames per second, then you interpolate to half the speed, so you need one before, one between, one after. This is only 2 frames of any sample. And then, instead of... there we go. So you have one before, one in between, and one after. And then you simply delete the other frames, and then you have purely video enhanced Topaz Labs interpreted frames, which can work for stylization, I guess. I like that to some degree. I'll still have to see, just because with some things that make it seem wishy, but I guess that's actually a style I like. Don't take too much compute to do. And I'm already at the point of 6 or 7 layers in to CG of interpreting, so it certainly is unique and complex to the point where no one else would be able to come up with exactly the same thing, which is, I guess, what I'm not bad at, just because I've done a lot of it. I mean, I've done a series of mostly stills, not exclusively, of 100 weeks of every week artworks, where I just interpreted the week's number. I started from 1, not from 0, because 0 was the idea. And the number 0 is a new concept. There's another thing I'll have to do for my thesis defense, quite some, is just pull explanations and reasons from who knows where as to why I did or did not do things the way I did. And I'm not worried about that, oddly enough. I'm already at the point where in my mind I've wrapped up the thesis stuff, which is probably not good because I still got to do the presentation at latest tomorrow because I've got to hand it in day after, about time I get up. But I've kind of wrapped my mind around it and I'm done with that. Now my concern is finding a job where I can start first the next month. Which it shouldn't be, it should still be on the thesis. Trying to force myself to not update my CV or so at this time. But I'll have to, but that'll work, you know. The universe works in mysterious ways. To the universe working in mysterious ways, today at 3 consecutive lights that ended up red of many lights I passed, the car next to me had missing rear lights or brake lights, and I was able to inform them, and they were all very happy, and I think I figured out the best way to do so is to tell people that is, and that is, excuse me, passenger side rear light, passenger side braking light's not working, or only your driver's side braking light is working. Oh, thank you. You know, it's everyone's problem. We're all in this together. We're all on this road together. We all want to be safe, don't we? Which kind of puts them in a corner where they cannot say, oh no, I don't want to be safe, fuck you. Which some people do share for some odd reason. But they can't, with social norms, then say that if I say, oh, we're all in this together, you know, looking out for you. Which I guess is somewhat manipulative of me. I don't know. It's just a way of optimizing social interaction. It feels odd to say that seems manipulative, but it do seem manipulative, so, you know. I have walked more than 20k throughout the week, so more than 4k a day on average. Dedicated walking, that is. So it's not just the walking I do throughout a day. My current week average is, I believe, at about 10k a day of general walking, but dedicated walking I've done more than 4k a day. Most exclusively with more than 5 kph, and quite a lot of the time closer to 6 and to 5, which is dangerously close to the concept of exercise and sports and so on, you know. Don't want to be doing that, do we? Actually, in the mid to long term, I'll probably end up wanting to do that kind of stuff because, it's healthy, you know. Same as quitting cancer sticks, coffin nails. I mean, I have my database of how much of these I have consumed throughout past 3, now almost 4 years. And the only reason I have that database is because from that point on, I have acknowledged that one day I would want to stop with this. One thing I've been doing while walking is just flipping cancer sticks in my fingers to not smoke them. I've managed to get down to 1 every 2 kilometers now for outdoor walking, which is pleasant because a lot of the time I'm outdoor for consuming tobacco. And this is a way to not, you know, just play with them in your fingers. It's the little things in life, you know. Yeah, so I reckon I'll manage my thesis film. I reckon I've already, throughout the past few years, developed a style for my abstract films. This thesis film will be in that again. Color scheme, unicorn puke. And based on some phenomenon of applied sciences, in this case applied physics. Which is thought of very abductively for the sake of getting to the final image. Then again, as long as I can give my abductive train of reasoning as to where the phenomena are in the video art, it should work out, you know. With a thesis film, I have wondered, and I think I'll want to make it fade from black and fade to black. I already have the beginning, but I still have to sort out the end of how I can smoothly do that. Because, I got to keep some kind of motion going. And I have an idea, but I don't believe I'll have the assets, or I have the capacity to capture the assets for that at the time. Which means I'll have to sort out some other way of getting there. Most certainly will manage. The one thing, back to tangent jobs, the one thing I am wondering about is they're looking for project management, so junior project manager for lighting and rigging. That company, the one, and I don't know if I got it in me. I know I certainly got a lot to learn in that field. I mean, with rigging, I don't know much at all, not even the terminology. But I highly suspect they'll be fairly flexible with the interpretation of that, because according to their website, they have like junior and senior, what's the term? Project managers, there we go. And a few other roles, but not many, and I highly suspect how that is interpreted is up to the situation. Then again, it all depends on what metrics the employee is measured by, so I'll have to find that out, because, surprise, I haven't got a foot in the door yet. I will have to still get a foot in the door, but I'll manage, universe work in mysterious ways. And odds are, if they don't totally lowball me insultingly low, there we go, they would make a better offer anyways than my former place of internship. That's kind of a bummer for me, with not being able to do my former place of internship, because familiar environment and familiar people. The clients are mostly familiar. I know the inventory there, which makes it meh for me, and I'll have to apply for a job now. And it's also meh for them, because, well, surprise, first off, I am looking for medium to long-term job. They do not currently have someone in that area that I would be responsible for in the medium to long term. They only have short to mid term. So that's a bummer for them. Plus, I mean, I did their last inventory as a sign of good faith. I understand it's perfectly fine with me. They may not be in the position to be able to hire me, but I'm not looking for a job in 3 months down the road, because by then I will have had to pay my rent. So I can't wait that long. I just realised my lighter's not. Oh, it's still in my other pocket. Haha. With walks in the park, I have not always worn a vest, so I put lighters in places they do not belong. There we go, found it. Yeah. Another thing I've decided to backpedal on, I guess, close to as possible. So with these trousers I'm rocking, shorts, I guess is the proper term for them. They aren't shorts though. They aren't Ian Kilminster style shorts. They are knee-long shorts. I think I will go back to the generally appreciated German workwear brand. Just because they're just over $50 a pop from them, but they have so many more pockets and they're more comfortable and they're just more professional. Yeah, so that's going to be something. I reckon if I get my shit together, in 10 days' time, I should be able to have an interview lined up for a potential job. I will follow my philosophy of only apply for one at a time, until my hand is forced to otherwise. So far, it's worked. What could go wrong? I've never had an accident in 60 years of on the road. I've never looked in the rearview mirror either as to what the accidents are that I've caused. Sarcasm, by the way. But I don't see a reason to see it wouldn't work, One thing I've also been looking into, just for funsies, is what will I do with my holidays? Because I would, for example, next year want to do a road trip to the United Kingdom. But that's only going to be like 3 weeks, so 15 days. And legally, I believe I have to take 26 days of holiday. Or the company I work for could get in trouble, whichever one that may end up being. And I reckon I'll just qualify myself for more things in that spare holiday time. I mean, legally, for qualification purposes and education purposes, in this country, I believe, well, not in the entire country, in this land of the country and most lands in this country, I am entitled to 5 days paid time off for furthering my education every year, or 10 days every 2 years. I reckon I'll want to go beyond that, but then again, that's what my regular holiday is good for, I guess, and I'll be able to keep some structure in my life as well, which is nice, you know. I'm sorry for waffling all over the place today. Thank you very much for sticking around and watching this. I'm not too collected. I've done microdosing a couple more times. Once more since last spoke. Last spoke Wednesday. Did I do any? No, I ain't done none. So I reckon it's about time. I reckon if I get up reasonably tomorrow, I might just. I have noticed just the few times I've done it have impacted my overall life, even when I am under no remote influence whatsoever. My mind seems, for the lack of a better term, healthier. I'm in a better place more of the time. Which I guess is nice. I don't know. I mean, substance abuse is not fun, but with the doses I'm doing, I reckon it's probably mostly homeopathic, you know. Homeopathic? Well, who knows? But, you know, you never know. And because I am the one dosing the stuff, I cannot not dose it and see if I still get placeboed. One thing I saw today on my walk, today I walked around the park, so along roads, on sidewalks mostly. I saw a really interesting car which had like a Beamer, BMW, which had a huge measuring box of instruments on the roof and instruments attached on the front. And I reckon I'll look further into that, because that seemed like fun, but it also seemed like a nightmare to legally be able to drive on the road. You never know, you know. Anyways, it's probably someone's job making sure that is legal to drive on the road and making it compliant and so on. Sorry for waffling on so much. Hope you don't waffle as much as I do. Thank you very much for sticking around. I'll see you around. Stay safe. Cheerio.